On this Charge Overland adventure, we head to the Mojave Desert in California. We camp at the Kelso Sand Dunes, explore the Mojave Road Trail, play a Viking game that dates back 1,000 years, eat some amazing food, and explore a lava tube cave. Stay tuned for this awesome adventure. We left the LA area on a Saturday morning and had quite a few miles to cover and a few stops before we reached the first destination of our trip. All right, we are currently stopped in Fenner, which is a tiny little town, but there is a pretty good charging station here. Who's this guy?
Hi.
John just got some gas and I'm charging the truck. Now we're gonna be on our way. From the charging station in Fenner, we drove 48 miles to our first stop, which was the Kelso Dunes in the Mojave Desert. We set up the truck for camping, got a fire going, and then it was time to start dinner. For our first night at camp, my fiance Christina and my good friend John cooked up an awesome meal. And I gotta say, this was probably one of the best camp meals I've had in a long time. Dinner's almost done over here. What do you got in the pot here, babe?
Had some coconut rice to go with our red curry, coconut milk, shrimp.
Looks delicious.
Which I think is done.
Yeah, looks like it's done.
We all devoured our food, and Christina set out some dessert for us afterwards with her amazing homemade macarons. Safe to say, we were all very full by the end of this meal and ready to just sit and relax by the fire. We woke up with the awesome Kelso Dunes right behind us, and it was such a cool spot for our first night of camping. The tallest of these dunes is over 600 feet, and you can actually hike to the top of them. I did do this on a previous trip, and it was a beautiful place to be at sunset. I do have to say though, this hike was a little more challenging than you would expect. Walking through sand uphill takes a lot of energy, so just make sure you give yourself enough time and bring plenty of water if you're going to do this hike. For this trip, our plan did not include hiking up to the top of the dunes because we had some other areas that we wanted to check out. We packed up camp and then we were on our way to the Mojave Road Trail to do some exploring and find a little more secluded camp spot for our second night. We entered the Mojave Road about halfway through the overall trail. This route has a long history of being a key trail to get people to the coast of California. The entire trail is close to 150 miles long. We would just be doing a portion of it on this trip, but on a future adventure, I definitely want to attempt the whole trail with my Rivian. right, we stayed at the Kelso Dunes last night. It was a really beautiful spot, but it's definitely popular and there were quite a few people camping around us, which wasn't too bad. But for tonight, we wanted to be somewhere a little more secluded and have our own place to camp. So we are on the Mojave Road trail right now. We just covered a couple miles and we just found a really cool spot to set up our camp for the night. It's actually a little earlier in the day than we normally stop, but it's kind of nice to be set up and be able to just relax. We're gonna get some lunch going here. Jonathan brought a game that we're gonna try out here. Sounds pretty interesting. But yeah, we're just gonna soak up the views, relax, take our time this afternoon, and enjoy this beautiful place that we're in. John, is this whole sandwich for you?
This is just for me. You guys are gonna be making something later.
I think we're probably gonna split this. After another delicious meal and a little bit of relaxing, Jonathan had a game that dates all the way back to the Vikings for us to play. This game is called Kube. It was an absolute blast to play. It got very competitive. I'm not going to get into all the rules of it, but if you've got a little space outdoors, it's a really fun one to bring with you on a trip or even play at home.
What? Oh my God.
Yeah!
I know. Does that distract you guys?
Not at all.
We played for a couple hours. Dom and John won both games. Let's just say Christina and I are going to be out for revenge on our next trip. After we finished the game, we decided we'd take a walk up the hill just by our camp to get a better view before sunset. All right, gonna give you guys a quick walkthrough of our camp here. Jonathan's got the GFC set up on the taco. That light inside looks pretty cool. Rivian's all set up with the iKamper.
Yeah, okay.
We also got the inside all set up, ready for bed in a little bit. That map on the back is really cool at night.
Yeah. The foil's over there. We gotta
Got a kitchen area over here set up.
That would not be natural.
Jonathan's cooking up some hash browns and we're gonna have some eggs and steak. Dom's all set up over here. He sleeps in the cab of his truck. He's got a pretty cozy setup as well. And the fire's cooking over here. And we got the camp speaker running in the background. At this point, we had all worked up quite an appetite, and Dom and Jonathan cooked up an awesome steak and egg dinner. We spent the rest of the evening by the fire, soaking up the incredible stargazing that the Mojave Desert has to offer. Our last morning here, we packed up and got moving pretty quickly. We had a lot of miles to cover on our final day and a few really awesome things to check out, including a cave that had been carved out by lava. From the trail, we were actually able to spot the Kelso Dunes off in the distance. And our first quick stop was at the Mojave mailbox. This is a cool spot to stop and sign your name among the other people who have passed through this area. Our next stop was the Lava Tube Trail. This was just a short hike off the road, and it takes you to a cave that was formed by molten lava. There are a few openings in the cave where sunlight can come in, and the cave itself is not huge, so you can explore it pretty quickly, but it's definitely something I would recommend checking out if you're in the area. The rest of our journey through Mojave would take us through about 15 miles of trail to get us out of the park and back onto the highway. If you're interested in seeing a full breakdown of the route for this trip as well as charging stops, stay tuned for the behind the scenes segment at the end of this video. We finished up the trail surrounded by Joshua trees, and our final step was to air up the tires on our trucks.
Jonathan forgot his hose, so we're using mine to air up his tires.
I knew he was going to put that on video.
But he's got a pretty cool gadget here. This Indeflate lets him air up or air down 2 tires at once. So this is pretty cool. Might have to get one of these.
On our final day, we covered 70 miles and ended at an Electrify America charging station in Baker, California. Alright, for the full trip details here, we started our journey in Irvine and drove to the Rivian Waypoint charger in Barstow. There were a couple other Rivians charging here, which was really cool to see. And again, had a very seamless experience at this charger. It worked great and it was free, which is even better. After charging, we made a stop to get groceries for all the delicious meals you saw in this video. And then from there, drove to Fenner, California, and stopped at an Electrify America station here and charged the truck up to 94%. From that charging station along our entire route through 2 nights of camping, I covered 148 miles and used 69% of the battery. Charging at the Electrify America station in Baker, there were a ton of available chargers, as well as a massive amount of Tesla superchargers. Here's hoping those open up to other EVs soon here. Alright, that ends the Mojave adventure. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, check out some of the other content on the channel, and as always, there are more adventures coming your way soon. Thanks for watching, everyone.